Aspirus St. Luke's is at risk of being out of coverage for a major insurance provider. Blue Cross Blue Shield and Aspirus Health are in negotiations. Aspirus said their company is significantly underpaid compared to other health systems in the Duluth market. In a statement, Aspirus Health officials said their request is fair, market-aligned reimbursement for the care its patients deserve. They're hoping to expand services and control costs for patients, but they say that they can't do that unless reimbursement from the insurance company is at least covers inflation. Well, Northern News Now reached out to Blue Cross Blue Shield about the negotiations, and insurance leaders said they're disappointed that Aspirus St. Luke's terminated its contract. In a statement, Blue Cross Blue Shield said that they hope to reach a solution that avoids any unnecessary disruption, going on to say that they must ensure that the company is doing what they can to manage the cost of healthcare services that directly impact what consumers pay. Well, without an agreement in place come December 31st, all Aspirus St. Luke's facilities will be out of coverage for Blue Cross members. And those facilities include hospital, Northern Lakes Surgery Center, affiliated Aspirus clinics in Minnesota, along with Aspirus care sites in Ashland and Superior, Wisconsin.